On Columbus Day, 1985, I was in a fatal car crash. It was a head-on collision. I was driving down the road. Another car was coming the other way. We were going through an intersection. At the last minute, he decided to turn left right in front of me. Bam. I think I had enough time to say, oh my God, didn't even get to say turning. Next thing I knew, I was looking down at the top of my car. It was like, whoa, this is really cool. Now, fortunately, I had heard about out-of-body experiences. I'd never had one, always wanted one. Suddenly, I was having one. So I looked down and I see my car crunched, and I saw the guy get out of his car and walk over to mine, reach in and turn my headlights off. Didn't quite know what that meant until later. And I suddenly lost interest in what was going on down there because I saw this white light over here, which I had heard about, fortunately, and I said, whoa, there's the white light, I'm going. And there was this tunnel that seemed very dark, but there was this great light at the end. And I really wanted to find out what was at the other side. And there was this feeling that was coming through this tunnel of love. And I just sort of thought, I want to go through that. And the next thing, I was through it. And I was in this place, but it wasn't a place like here. It was an environment, an atmosphere, and it was love. It was amazing. It was total bliss, total joy, total love, total acceptance, total everything is fine and always will be and always has been. It felt like home. It felt like that's where I belonged, and that's the way it's supposed to feel all the time. But, of course, that's not the way it feels here. So I sort of looked around, and I think I needed to have a concept of place, so suddenly it sort of seemed like a place again. And I looked over to the right, and I saw all these relatives of mine who had died before, and they were waving and smiling, and I smiled and waved, but I didn't feel like I was supposed to go over and talk to them because that's sort of not why I was there. But it was good to see them, and they were all doing great. And I could just feel that. And the next thing I knew, I was standing in the middle of a circle of these 12-foot beings of light. And I'm only 5'4", so they were pretty intimidating. But not really, because they felt more like family than the people I had seen. And they felt so familiar and so loving. And I remember saying, I'm not going back there because it's nasty. People are mean. And it's like walking through hip-deep molasses, just trying to get anywhere or do anything. And people are nasty to each other, and it's just bad, and I'm not going back. And it sort of felt like I was having an argument with them, but when I think about it, they weren't really arguing. I was just sort of standing there going like this, and they were sort of going, yes, dear, it's all right, dear. You're doing fine. You can do whatever you want. And it just seemed to go on for this timeless period. And I really wanted to stay because it was really good there. And the next thing I knew, I woke up in the emergency room at the hospital and said, oh my God, what happened? And the nurse said, you were in a car accident. And I said, that's not what I mean, because I wasn't supposed to come back. But here I was, and boy, did it feel different. I mean, 3 dimensions, when there's not a lot of love, is a real difference from where I was. And it was very hard to make the transition. I knew that I had had what they call a near-death experience. I'd even heard about them. I'd even read about them before. But I didn't know exactly what you're supposed to do with that, because nothing was the same. It still felt the same. It still felt like here I am in the world and people are still mean to each other. And it's not that love energy that was there that felt like the heart of God. It felt like going back and standing in the middle of the heart of God. And suddenly it felt like I wasn't there anymore. And here I was. I felt like I had been tossed like a stone. So they say it takes about 15 years to incorporate one of these experiences, and I think that's true, because my understanding of it changed over time, and here it is 2007, so it's been over 20 years. And here are some of the things I've learned from this. Your priorities change because you realize that the most important thing is love. The only thing is love. That's really the only thing there is. Except sometimes it's expressed as fear, the opposite side of it. And all that petty stuff doesn't matter. Of course, you change a lot when that happens, and people feel weird around you. So you lose friends, and you get new ones. A lot of people change jobs. A lot of people get divorced. But you're incorporating this feeling of love into your life. And I think that's what people with NDEs really do. And it takes a long time because you're shifting and you're changing, and you got a lot of history. We all know that we came back with a mission. Most of us don't know what it was at the time, but we know we had one. And you spend a lot of time trying to figure out what that was. And at different times since then, I've come up with ideas of what my mission was. But now I think my mission, and everybody's mission, is to be here in 3 dimensions, in this time, in this space, and to hold the energy of the light of God. Just hold it. We don't have to do anything. Just hold that energy. And as we hold it, we help other people around us find that energy and feel that energy. Humanity is changing. Humanity is evolving. And this is the time. And all you have to remember is there is nothing out there to fear. You are a divine, powerful being. We all are. We're all part of God. We're all part of love. That's who we are. We are the heart of God. And we're here to bring that to planet Earth, to create heaven on Earth. And we can do it in love. That's why we're here.